Hello again. Well, it's day one of game day quilts. I said last week we were going to do this. So I have my quilt top, batting, and backing ready to go. So we're going to actually use, I've never used this one, brother. It's the BQ 3050, but it has the MuVit foot on it. Freaking awesome. So if you're going to do straight line quilting on your quilt, this is the foot you want. Okay, well, everybody's left me back here. So what I have done is on the back we have cuddle. We have the beautiful Dream 8020. And then I have the panel, and this is the volleyball one. Yes, volleyball one, right? So I'm going to do straight line quilting on this, talk about some tips about how I do my quilting, and we're going to go from there. These are perfect for being outside. Okay, so let's just talk about setting this up. Okay. So we have 505 very lightly on the back. Again, I said this is cuddle, and we just put a light spray on the back. Now, the batting, the Dream Cotton batting, it has almost a grip to it, so I didn't even have to spray the top because this has almost a grip to it. I don't even have to worry about spraying the top. And I find that most people use too much 505 spray. Like, no, you want to do light spray, and then you need to work out any lumps and bumps. This is what I use my broken rulers for. So you pretend you're a wallpaper hanger, and you're just flattening it out. Okay. So I only have the 505 between the batting and the backing. There is nothing between the batting and the top panel. So I have the machine set up. I'm using a pre-wound bobbin, Deco Bob, which I love pre-wound bobbins. His life is too short to wind a bobbin. And I've matched the gray that's on the back of this one. Although it still looks green. I just finished teaching collage all day. I'm going, everything looks green in this camera. So it looks green, it's not, it's gray. Now, because most of the panel is white on the top, I have white polyester thread on the top, and I'm using the Wonderfill on the top. Well, a couple of reasons I am using polyester is that it's long lasting, and since this is going to be used outside, it may travel in the trunk of your car, you want it to last, right? You want it to last. So I'm using polyester, Deco Bob 80 weight, and I believe the top is a 40 weight. Yeah, it's a 40 weight. By Wonderfill, great Canadian company headquartered in Calgary. So when you do straight line quilting with your MuVit foot or a walking foot, although a MuVit foot's much, much better, because what's happening is your big dog's on the bottom, moving the fabric along. And typically, if you don't have a dual feed or anything, like it's just a standard foot, top doesn't move in the same speed as the bottom, right? So if you ever get to the end of seaming, like piecing, and you'll say, why does my top never match my bottom? Well, that's why. Highly recommend a dual feed. That will eliminate that because it's pulling both layers at the same time. So I have the MuVit foot on here, a brilliant foot. So I'm going to select the number 1-03 stitch. What that'll do, it puts my needle in the middle of my foot. Most of the brothers are left justified. In other words, the needle always starts at the left where the foot is. So I always move it to the middle. So what I'm going to do is start on the one side. So when we look at the panel, there is a straight line down the right side and a straight line down the left side. I'm going to go down the right side, flip it, and then go up the left side. You don't want to ever stitch all in the same direction when you're quilting, because then your quilt will get slightly, I almost want to call it a right hook. It will look longer on one side. If you've ever had that problem, that's what's happened. So what I should do first, like Anne says, there are those who test and those who don't. I just have some little piece of batting, and I put a piece of cotton on here. So let's go ahead and give this a try. And I have no foot for my machine. Awesome. Okay, well, let's just go ahead. Not that I need it, right? Now I may have to raise the height of this foot. So I'm stitching that. My stitches look really, really good, although it's the default 2.5. If I'm going to quilt this, I would like to have my stitches a little longer. So I'm going to set my length. Let's try 3 and see how that works. And I also want to change the height of my foot. Nice. So you want to be able to see your quilting stitches on here. I find that when most people go to actually quilt, either straight line quilting or free motion, the stitches are too close together. So I've got that at 3. Let's go ahead now. We're going to give this a try. So this line goes all the way straight down. So I'm just going to follow that line. And here's where you get really good with putting it over one shoulder. So I have rolled it up on the other side. There we go. And here's where the beauty of the MuVit foot comes in. Both fabrics, especially the batting, is moving at the same time, or not moving, depending on your outlook. Now, if I was at home, I always highly recommend having the acrylic table in, or you have it insert into a cabinet. The flatter the area, the bigger the area you have, the less drag you have on it. This is why the left side of the quilt is on my shoulder right now. Now, with these feet, you can actually have bars that come out from your foot, so you can say, I want my stitching to be 1 inch away. I want it to be 2 inches away. And most people don't even know what those bars are for. Usually have a place in the back here that you can put them in. But for this, I'm actually going to follow the squares on the panel. MuVit foot is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. See that, right? Puckers, no wobbles, no warbles. If you ever have an issue with getting puckers in your backing, obviously there are ways to lay your backing fabric out better. You can use a pool noodle, or if you want to get a roll where fabric comes on, so get the long tube. You're going to roll up one end to the middle, lightly spray your 505, roll it back out, but you got to make sure that you're making sure your fabric is flat. And that's what I always use my ruler for. So pretend you're the wallpaper hanger, right? Flattening it out. Getting the lumps and bumps out, right? And then you do the other end, and then you can do the backing. So you can see where I've stitched down there. Good thing I did make it a 3 because it still looks pretty small on there, right? So then I'm going to flip it around and stitch the other side, and I'll have that done for tomorrow. And then so I'm going to do one vertical from top to bottom. I'll do another vertical from bottom to top. Again, you never want to make sure you're constantly going the same way when you're quilting. You ever wonder why your quilt has a kind of, I call it that right hook, or it looks longer on one side? That's because you quilted it all in the same direction. So then I'll start going across. Okay, so that's enough for today. I hope everybody will stay safe, be kind, and be calm. Bye-bye.